All right, have you seen the Amaranth beef yet? Okay, I want to show you. So this guy's coming on. So Amaranth is like a big OnlyFans model.
Yeah, I know who Amaranth is.
Okay. And she's going viral right now because she was arguing with her husband for 12 hours on stream. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And allegedly he's coming on today, but this guy is summarizing the beef. Do you have any other final thoughts on the debate? Because the guy's going to come on soon. Go ahead.
Like before, I respect Andrew Wilson. I think he's great. If I were to ever, I'm an agnostic. If I were to ever, look into Christianity, I would literally hit him up. I like the way that he navigates his religious beliefs and all that stuff. But I mean, it's really good to say certain things, but he's not out here, man. He's not out here.
He doesn't know. He'd get eaten alive.
What guys like him basically say is, take the risk because it could work out for you. But the stakes are so high now. Like the L that you can take from marriage is worse than it's ever been. And it's only getting worse each year.
And they're saying in the chat, they're like, she's scared to give prescription. Shouldn't you be scared that a guy could potentially commit suicide? Like, this is a real thing. Like, it's not like...
You've always said that women...
This is not like... Some of these women do evil things to these guys. And it's really easy to say, like, she can just pray, but...
any women
the road.
that try to tell men what to do are feminists automatically.
Yeah.
That's what liberal and feminist women do. And I like the fact that you avoid doing that. Now, I think we're in a climate where we're so used to women, especially on the conservative side, like Tommy Lawrence saying, you need to be real men, that when a woman doesn't want to do it, they're like, what's going on here? She's weak and she's not. No. Mm-hmm. Like the Tommy Lawrence should be keeping their mouths shut and not Pearl talking more. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Amaranth basically is accusing her husband of abuse, and this guy's going to summarize it. Or you want to react with me?
Sure.
Okay. Glenn Lawrence says, let me call in. Yeah, make it quick, but you can call in. I'm going to play this video to give people a summary of the stream.
Amaranth has been fighting with her husband live on air for over 24 hours straight. What started as a dispute between how to...
I'm going to say one last thing.
Okay.
So some of the best advice I ever got in my life, guys, if you're thinking about, if you don't like your job or you're in a tumultuous relationship, the best question you can ask yourself is this working? And you have to answer yes or no. If you're sitting at your job and you're hating life, if you're with some woman who's freaking getting up your ass and stuff, ask yourself, is this working? The answer needs to be yes or no. If the answer is no, all the rest of it easy. You have to make a change. Men have been looking at the last 40, 50 years and they're asking themselves this question, is this working? And the answer is no.
Guys,
wait, I want to play the...
Go ahead.
Before... Nick, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good. We were having a little tech issue, I guess.
I was about to play your live stream fight first.
Yes.
Is that okay? Can I do that first? So that just so the audience knows what we're like talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so... I'm going to play this real quick. So this is obviously like a leftist like YouTuber, but let me play this.
Amaranth has been fighting with her husband live on air for over 24 hours.
Oh my gosh, no, it's the... sometimes my computer does this. Hold on, guys.
Husband live on air for over 24 hours straight. What started as a dispute between how to take care of their 7 dogs has escalated into a multi-day long argument, with at one point her husband bringing up how she kisses black men while they're dating. Of course, naturally, people think this is fake, given that there was the whole drama with her husband a couple years back, the same one that she originally accused of forcing her to do things like OF, etc. Regardless, the fight is insane to watch, and you don't have to be a fly on the wall because the whole thing is live streamed for us. Well, it's when Yi tweets out this clip with the caption, Amaranth and her husband Nick have been fighting for hours on Kick. Still happening now if you're interested.
No, I'm in a sane one, Nick, and you were in an insane mindset.
No, you're just, something is mentally unhinged for you right now, because normally...
No, it's literally you! You are unhinged!
He's hilarious.
Normally, when you know that we're being swatted, you're at least concerned for the dogs, and you're almost gleeful.
I was not concerned in this case because one, I know that the dogs aren't in here, so there's nothing for me to be concerned, and I know that they aren't free on the outside.
Yeah, they're like on the patio, and then
either on the patio concealed.
Trumps can jump over things.
I don't have to be concerned if I didn't hear a shot go off. What the fuck?
Why
are you retarded?
First of all, no, this is you being retarded, because here's the thing, right? You're being super flippant, and you're not even making any sense. You just said you're not concerned because no shots are fired. Bro.
Hoodie replies, I'm gonna be real, they both sound like shitty human beings after all this shit. Nathan replies to the clip by saying, bro, she is like fucking dumb. Ben Dover says, y'all so dumb if you believe this is real. All that these streamers do is content. It's all scripted, everything is staged. Iku replies, is this the same husband she had this nervous breakdown over 1 year ago and said that he practically forced her to prostitute herself online, etc.? Are they back together? What kind of sick shit is this? And Anisi Enigma says, yes, it is. They never separated. This whole thing is a circus show. Jake quotes the clip by saying, kids used to watch Nickelodeon. Fearbuck tweets out, Amaranth's husband pressed her about giving a HJ to Aaron Pogson, a producer from Fresh and Fit in a parking lot,
God.
and attaches this clip.
Can we talk about you kissing black men while we're married?
That is not even true. Oh my god.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
We can talk about that, sure.
Okay, let's talk about it.
You had me go on Tinder dates I didn't want to go on, and then you started calling me while we were at the karaoke bar a lot.
Me if you could have an open relationship.
That is no.
Oh, you didn't?
You were wanting an open relationship.
No, did you ask that, okay, maybe I will sleep with Aaron? Did we say that?
No, that is
never?
not.
You
No.
never asked that?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay, we're going to lie to your chat now, okay.
We're literally not lying.
And you didn't give him a hand job in the
I
parking
did
lot?
not.
Oh, okay.
Correct. I did not
didn't drive
do that.
up on you guys together, you giving him a hand job in the parking lot.
Dude,
in Chinatown.
These men can't even find that would make us money of such acts that you are claiming right now. Yet you're saying I would do it off stream for no money?
Yes.
You're retarded.
Oh my god, because porn stars never have sex off fucking...
Action Man says, I mean, a little HJ, no big deal. But let's be honest though, nobody is usually just giving an HJ. It's possible, but unlikely. Essence replies, poor guy. He looks like a sweet husband, but that's one of the cons when dating an OF bitch. They're fucking retarded. Rella replies, well, clearly she wants a D from someone who's actually fresh and fit. Because what the fuck is this? Attaching this picture of her husband's shoes. Mighty Keith quote tweets this clip by saying, what am I hearing right now? And Anastasia replies, dude is married to a corn star and then gets mad she does corn star stuff? Bro, grow up. Design tweets out this clip with the caption, Amaranth is seemingly accusing her husband of wanting to have her killed after a 12+ hour argument. It all started when the husband complained about dog chores and quickly spiraled into a massive on-stream airing out of all their dirty laundry that seemingly has no end.
When this fight started till now as today, you said you were...
His face, I'm sorry. His face is so funny.
And you know what?
So
you guys may say,
every guy has made that face in his life.
and honestly, you may say, why is he live streaming all this? You want to get all this stuff on camera, man, because anything she says or anything they say can be used. Get as much of this stuff on camera as possible.
I'm going to play like a couple more minutes and then I'll cut it off.
Unhappy long before I ever said, you know what, I could see it if you did want me killed. I could see that. You...
He's so dumb.
You were happy before, so you're not
No,
trying to
so
act
I
like
say I'm
me
unhappy,
assuming
and
that
that
is
means
the
I have
reason.
you plotted a kill?
No! It's me thinking about all the shitty things you say to me, like the last...
Did you just say you wanted you killed? Now it's thinking of all the shitty things you say to me.
Last time we argued, you said, I wish I hadn't saved
Look
you,
no further
so you
than
wouldn't be
I actually
attached to
saved
me.
her life. But maybe I was actually plotting.
Yeah, so you're threatening to divorce the woman that you claim that they love so much that you
If
saved.
I was plotting, I wouldn't divorce you because then I wouldn't get anything.
You want,
making no sense.
well, you prefer a financial split, though. You want financial
Which means I definitely
split or
don't get
divorce.
anything. Because it's outlined.
Look, right now, if we get a divorce and you die, your parents get your half. If we're together and you die, I get it.
So then I would never say that if I was trying to have you killed.
They continue their thread by saying, here's the moment that started the whole 12+ hour altercation between Amaranth and her husband, attaching this clip.
What? What the fuck was that? Oh, here we go again. Oh. Is her life just dog chores now or what?
No. We haven't done any all day.
I know, but we gotta do like fucking 7 in a row at night.
Only because of the fucking fence right now. Otherwise, they'd be out.
The things you gotta put up with for a 9, like a 9.5.
In their yards more because they're having the stuff freaking disgusting. Why do you just complain? You don't have to help me if you don't want to. You can go smoke with them on your lounge and I'll deal with it.
I complain in order to make things better.
Well, we're already in the process of making things better. That's what we have to do this.
Terrence replies, fake. She pulled this shit a year or two ago. And Design says, if anything, this proves...
Okay, they're saying she's not a 9. Then give your rating, guys. Come on, she's like the top. She's at least an 8.
The drama from 2 years ago was real. Who's posting the livestream fail subreddit? Amarantha calls the police on her husband live.
Okay, fine. We'll say 8. Fine.
Media relevancy. She even had wreck is beyond.
Oh my gosh, it does this sometimes. It's the...
Tough life living in Texas, man. I am phlegmatic replies from Dobby Free to calling the police live. Some things never change, huh? And Ledoux says, they're very bad con artists. And Miss Rising replies, but very good actors. Because I don't think any of this shit is real. Not from what I've read. Key Appointment says, it's crazy how you can make this insane amount of money and still be so emotionally unstable, illogical, immature. Like 2 adults who haven't developed logical communication skills. Imagine being so materialistically rich and still being bogged down by these silly problems. And Fogotica says, at this point, I'm heavily suspecting it's all for drama and clicks. And Fresh Wealth says, seems like it worked. We all clicked, didn't we? Apollo Tiger Wolf replies, gonna need some context. And Cookie Waffle 95 replies, her husband is saying she killed her brand by saying anti-trans/Jewish stuff, so they're having a painful convo about it on stream.
Dog, that's the same stuff you say to me.
Keep telling you.
Stop.
And Theo Golf says, yes, seems like a very valid reason to call police and totally not a waste of their time. Kick Clips tweets out, full. Amaranth calls the cops on her husband after he charged at her during a 20-hour stream argument and attaches this clip.
That's fine.
Regardless.
I'm not unokay with being observed.
Okay, great.
I'm unokay with you pointing the camera.
Well, then leave. I'm not going to follow you.
So you're literally just going to be super defiant, is that right?
Shit. Talk about problems. Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Leave. You can move.
Is he trying to end? I think he's trying to end the stream.
I wasn't in camera view. You moved the camera view to me.
Bro? What is wrong with you? You got yeah.
Maybe I'm partial to redheads. I'd say 8. Whatever.
We'll do like another minute and then we'll...
Yeah, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, the police came. I didn't see this part.
Oh, they actually came.
Yeah.
Wow.
You wanted me to end the video.
Oh, man.
They continue the thread by saying, moments before attaching this clip.
Was it because he tried to win in front of her? Women always over-exaggerate the abuse. It's like, really? That was the...
So Nick, over here, we have what's called the female-friendly version of the story. And what that is where it's the story where the woman is the hero and the victim in the story at the same time. And I think that you, from what I saw, you literally lived that out on stream for 12 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It ended up being probably closer to 24 when all is said and done. You guys can hear me, right? Just making sure.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
I think we can end I mean, you get the idea, guys, from the video. So, hi, welcome to the show, first.
Hello.
I know it's been a rough... When did this happen? Was this like 2 days?
This is super fresh. I think it was like Saturday late night, and then Sunday was like the cop thing. Yeah.
Okay. So everyone's saying this is staged.
Absolutely not. I know this is hard to believe, but we have never staged any drama. Like, all the dysfunction is perfectly real.
Really?
I wish, honestly, yeah. Like, so I'm just gonna say this because like I've wanted to say it for a bit, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's like the 2022 drama, right, where she kind of had this thing and I was calling her, right? Like, I mean, look, the words I was saying was absolutely true, but I got kind of like a surprise that like, kind of how far she took it. Like, I yell at her, she yells at me. I always assume that if you can't dish it, then you shouldn't do it either, right? And like the biggest thing that used to get me was like she would play this game where we'd be arguing at room temperature voices, right? And then she would start raising her voice and then drowning me out. And then I'd raise my voice and she'd raise her voice and I'd raise my voice, generally to match. And then at a certain decibel, she would say, "Why are you yelling at me?" It got me every time. And so like in that particular case, I was pretty sleep deprived. It was like a tax snafu where she kind of, it was relatively a small amount, but like a big enough amount that the IRS would care about. So she had this, was a Cash App, right? And she was so big at that moment that like she just merely having a Cash App meant people were sending money, right? I think that Cash App was clearing $67,000 a year. And it's not, you're not getting anything. Like it's just literally her cash tag is available on one of her social media platforms. And then $60,000. Now my gripe of it was when I asked her, do you want
to put my Cash App in the stream? Just do a community post or something. I'm just kidding. Sorry, keep going.
So when I got around, so I asked her like, hey, give me all the income sources that you know of. Obviously, I know of some, and then I'll do the taxes. And so she didn't tell me about that one because she was using it to buy like some horse supplies on the side. It's like a little slush fund for her, which I don't really care about. But then like the IRS sent me notices that were like, hey, you've unreported income. And I was like, what are they talking about? And it was just like this $67,000. And then I remember saying like, well, I guess we forgot about it. I know it sounds bad, but like, and then they're like, well, you couldn't have forgotten because you're spending it. Like, because it's being spent down too, right? So yeah, like that's kind of the thing. I'll just bullet point it now just for brevity's sake. I've actually never asked her to wear skimpier clothing ever. Like that whole Dobby is free thing, the Harry Potter reference that she says, because now she can wear shirts without cleavage. The funniest part of that is I have never asked her to dress skimpier. In fact, the only thing I've ever asked her to is not dress a skimpy. Like it was totally the opposite of what reality was for that particular claim, right? In fact, 5 years ago, she had a drama where she flashed her vagina on Twitch, and like everyone thought it was a stunt, but actually it was. I was downstairs and she was walking upstairs, and I look up and I said, "Hey, you need to wear something else because I can see, whatever." And then she was like, "No, I'm gonna. This is fine." And she goes on stream and then flashes everyone instantly and gets banned. And so that one surprised me a lot, saying that I moderated her clothing choice. Like I know nothing about women's clothing. Like she wears what she wears and that's what it is. And sometimes I say it's too much for Twitch. I'm like pretty concerned about the moderation thing. The other thing is that like I've never financially controlled her. Like literally for the entire time we've been together, which is like 10 years, which is kind of nuts. Every bank account we have, she's either primary account holder or joint primary. I cannot, like if she went right now, like at this minute to the bank and, move $2 million, I could not, they're not even going to call me. Like I can't stop that. And so the financial control thing was wild to me too, because like the thing I'm guilty of is absolutely yelling. But financial control and making her dress a certain way, making her do things on OnlyFans that she didn't want to do, that has never happened. I've never done that. Like literally at that point in time when she made that complaint, I was removed from the entire OnlyFans side of the operation. It was literally staffers who would draw up ideas, present her the ideas. She would circle the ones that she was comfortable with, and then they would film the ideas. I wasn't part of the entire chain of making content whatsoever. And so that was also another thing. And like my biggest gripe with her at the time was like, if, you have such a, legitimate grievance, then why did you make up, the three big ones that are headlining? But like, I'm a pretty realistic person to a fault. And so when that happened and I talked to her about it, after she came down a little bit, she'd already done 2 streams basically canceling me, right? She was like, well, I can do a 3rd stream and correct the record. And I was like, no, we're not going to do that. She was willing to at that moment, but I was like, we're not going to do that because right now you've killed my reputation. And if you go and you backtrack, it's not coming back, right? It'll just kill your reputation as well. Little did I know, people just started saying it was fake anyways. So that's all moot. But sorry, I'm sure you have like questions and stuff. I didn't want to derail.
I'm kind of curious. I don't follow the OnlyFans women too close, like the streaming stuff. So some of this I might. How did you guys meet? Like, were you there before she did the OnlyFans? So you guys met in like college or something?
So ironically, it was on Tinder. I was kind of a fuckboy back then. And so I was on Tinder a bunch. And then one day I matched this girl, and like, I remember when I matched her, I was like, okay, well, great. Like another fake profile. Cause like, this is like 2014 or 15, right? So it's early, and Tinder was still like legit. You could actually meet people on Tinder back then. And so like all of her pictures were super professional model pictures or super professional cosplay pictures with like photo editing. And so I was like, this is not a real person because it's 10 photos like from the studio, right? They're advertising something. But, you know, as a guy, you know, you always, you know, play the odds. And so I messaged her. And then like the thing that kind of piqued my attention was that she was how we met. And I guess the genesis of our streaming career was that she had a business at the time that did party planning. And I was basically the one who kind of accidentally figured out that in those days, 2014 and 2015, Facebook advertising was such a good deal. No one believed in Facebook advertising. So to compete, you know, Zuckerberg lowered the price to such a low CPM that I remember for a brief period of time, you could literally advertise your YouTube channel, get more from ad revenues than you're spending on Facebook, right? And so there was like this perpetual motion machine briefly, ever so briefly. And so we use that to like make her party planning business, you know, go from like a startup to 6 figures. And then I stopped and I said, wait a minute, like, I feel like we're taking too many steps to do this thing because our only edge is we're good at social media. So why are we running a party planning company? Like, you know, we're able to market it very well, but we should probably do influencer stuff. And at the moment in time, I had more followers than her on Instagram, right? I don't even have that Instagram anymore. I deactivated it. And I remember thinking, like, this is weird. Like, I'm a guy, right? And she's a hot girl who does cosplay in 2014. Like, how do I have more followers than her? And I, you know, checked out her page and I was like, oh, she's doing all this wrong. Like you gotta like, and that, so then we kind of, you know, we're newly married at the time. And so we hatched this plan where she thought I was going to be an influencer. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in front of a camera. I don't want to, you know, do all that.
How long were you guys together before you got married? How many years?
1.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, no, feel free to interrupt me anytime for questions because I can sometimes ramble a little bit. Yeah, so you know, and then you know she started doing it, and then you know, like there were days like back then, like I had the Instagram algorithm kind of figured out to a T. Like there was all these like little growth hack tricks that you could do, and so I remember there were days when she would grow 10,000 followers on Instagram in like 2015, and then she started streaming, and then like I remember like partly it was my idea. I was like, you should probably do YouTube or streaming. You know, like, you know, an additional kind of tangent or place that your viewers can come find you for more engagement. And then I had to buy her, you know, the laptop. And at that point in time, I was a sole breadwinner, right? I had a nice, cushy white collar engineering job. And, you know, I'd bought a house. And so she just lived at home, you know, rent free, obviously. And then just kind of like she could fill her day with whatever she wanted to. And I went to work, you know, roughly 9 to 6 p.m. So that was how it was back then. And then so I bought her a laptop, you know, and then bought her like the stuff she needed for streaming. And then she started streaming. I remember telling her like, you know, you know, understand this. It's that like if you turn it on, it's going to take a while. You might be streaming to 0 viewers for a bit, right? But as it actually turned out, she started out the gate with 30 viewers. So it's kind of a moot there too. And then, you know, within a couple months, it was like 100 something. So I'm kind of off the races.
Okay. So when
can I close my door so we don't get noise pollution?
Yeah, totally fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Bro, what do you always say that all these women have a man behind them? Every single one of them.
I know, everyone.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
And I know who Amaranth is, man. You know, she's in like the top 0.1% of earners in all this. And I knew that there was a man behind her. I knew it. I mean, I'm a casual. You know, I don't do Twitch. I don't do Kick, anything like that. But I always knew that as successful as she was, that there was a guy guiding her career.
Yeah.
Because what do you always say about that, bro?
Well, I just always say whenever there's a woman that's making a lot of money online, there's always a guy behind them. Because like we just don't make money on our own. We just like lose it or spend it or say something dumb. That's why I was kind of joking with Doug MPA, because the stuff you were telling her not to say is stuff he tells me not to say. So wait, so when did it become like OnlyFans? Like, was that, you know, because we always wonder, like, and I'm just being honest here, like, why would a guy put up with his girlfriend or wife like getting naked on? Was it just the money or what?
And also the perception is, you know, OnlyFans is like a line that's crossed. Understand what I'm saying? Like once you start doing OnlyFans, the perception changes. Does it change the dynamic? Did it change? Was it a lot? Was it like a wall that you had to climb over? And you understand what I'm saying? Were the repercussions to starting OnlyFans in you guys' relationship, you guys' lives?
We started on Patreon before OnlyFans, and ironically, we were kind of late to the OnlyFans game. It wasn't until I think at the onset of COVID that we made an OnlyFans, right? And that's a big mistake. In fact, I remember years later, like in the heyday of 2021, 2022, when she was like making $2 million a month on OnlyFans. I remember searching OnlyFans in the emails, looking for some email, right? And then I scrolled to the bottom just curiously, and I saw that in 2019, they had offered, if she made a profile, that they would slice the rates in half perpetually. And I remember sitting there thinking, holy shit, like the amount of money left on the table because we didn't click that link in 2019 is like insane, right? It's like, almost $10 million on its own. And so once we started doing OnlyFans, it was pretty tame stuff, pictures of bikinis and stuff like that, right? For me, I'm generally pretty self-assured. And so like I have some rules and boundaries, but like as long as those are followed, it's fine. And I don't know if y'all are probably not familiar, but like the perception of her is that, she's this porn star. And I won't necessarily disagree with that, but like she has never had sex with another guy or, anything like that. In fact, like her page is pretty tame. In recent years, there have been like very liberal uses of cartoon filters and AI.
Yeah.
And so like it's actually really, like the closest she gets is like, it doesn't even show the action, but like implies there's action. Does that make sense?
So are her like boobs on the internet though? And like
that is, yeah. And that was mainly just because she's comfortable with that, because like even when she was modeling, like models kind of do really artsy, risque shots that are like naked, but there's like paint or something dripping down or whatever.
Is like her like vagina, is that on the internet too?
Ironically, unintentionally from the leaked or the streams where I would tell her not to wear the thing.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering like how, like what, it didn't bother you at all that like other guys were jacking off to, your girl's boobs or like, I mean, it's okay if it didn't. I was just, you kind of wonder the psychology. Because you have to understand to the average person, this is like insane,
Yeah.
And also just real quick. So the future is going to be young boys in high school are going to have friends whose moms are on OnlyFans, right? And the college guys are going to be in college with women that have done OnlyFans. So like what, well, you can answer Pearl's inquiry first, but I have one after that. Let me go ahead and answer Pearl's inquiry first, and then I'll follow up with what I want to say. I apologize for interrupting.
Yeah, so no, you're good. Basically, I was a fuckboy on Tinder kind of before, and so like there are all kinds of girls on there, right? Like I don't think I've ever done like a match with a porn star or anything like that. But like there are girls who are like in various stages of like, we didn't even know it at the time, but becoming an influencer, I guess is what you call it, right? Like no one knew what was going on at the time. Just like, oh, I have a lot of followers, and so like I was kind of used to a lot, and then I kind of fooled around with like party girls and stuff, and like that was always kind of like crazy because like I remember once getting invited to go to Vegas, right? I have to pay my own flight, and then we'd get a penthouse suite, and it was like 4 girls who invited me to go on this trip, and I remember like it's in the Wynn, and I was in the room, and I was like, holy fuck, like this room must cost like $10,000 a night at least. Right? How are you guys paying for this? And they're like, oh yeah, this guy online paid for it. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then she told me that I am not allowed to appear in any of the photos. But so I was seeing a lot of that stuff. And so by relative comparison, Amaranth Kate, people will never believe this. Fresh and Fit, did not believe it when she was on there. But like, she was a virgin when I met her, right? And she's only,
How old was she?
She's now 31.
No, when you met her.
20. Wow, that's kind of crazy to say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 20 and 25, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we were young, and I never intended to get married, but like, she kind of, in that moment.
She didn't blow like one other dude. Not one.
Supposedly, I'm going by trust here. Okay. But you have to understand, okay, like the thing about her is like no one will kind of understand her or know this, but like she had just started, like, so, you know, like, it's not that she was unattractive. It's just that she didn't really lean into like being more feminine until like right around the time right before I met her.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And so you go back and you look at like her 2000 or like her 19-year-old, 18-year-old photos. Like, you know, she's a cute girl, but like it's almost like it's like a cute girl, like diamond in the rough type thing, right?
Yeah, was she one of those cosplaying,
yes,
nerdy
yes,
kind of?
Yeah.
Because those are the best kind of women, the ones that are attractive, but they don't know that they're attracted.
yeah, yeah,
Because I was like, why would you marry her after a year and a half? But I can see the appeal behind that,
yeah,
where
yeah.
she's attractive and she doesn't. Because there are some women out there, especially in nerdy spaces, where they have no idea how attractive they are. It exists. I've seen it.
No, it's absolutely true. And for her, she spent most of her adolescence being obsessed with portraying guy characters. So crossplaying is what they call it, right? And but it was like kind of feminine guy characters, but nonetheless, it's like Peter Pan, Link from Zelda, and she made great costumes. But it's like I could believe it because like I took her for her word on it, but I believed it because it's like, well, you know, every other convention she's been a guy. And so like, you know, it kind of, you know, to me hedged the chance that, you know, she was lying. And she was pretty socially awkward at the time, like kind of like how she just newly started looking really good in very recent years. And so then she was like socially not very well adjusted. And so a lot of that led to me believing
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. 20 isn't unbelievable. When guys tell me 25, I'm like, yeah, okay. 20, I mean, I kind of don't believe it, but it's like kind of in
such a strict curfew when we were dating.
Yeah.
It was like home by 9.
Oh, she
right?
lived at home too. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So like it was believable to me. And then like the boyfriends was like a guy who like I think she had like 1 or 2 real boyfriends, but like nothing happened. And it was like a guy who wanted to be a professional League of Legends player, but he was Bronze League.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the OnlyFans, like at first it was just bikini photos and that sort of thing.
Yeah, bikini photos. Like brutal.
I wanted to ask
Go
because this is what I wanted to bring up earlier. Once again, there are going to be young boys in high school whose friends' moms are on OnlyFans. You're going to go to college. You have to factor in that you may be presented with an opportunity, or you may be dating a girl that you like who's been on OnlyFans or is doing it. How would you recommend a guy like navigate that whole thing? Because you wouldn't. I would think that from your situation, you wouldn't say that being on OnlyFans would be a disqualifier if you have the right boundaries, correct? So, like, if a guy were 27 years old, you know, just graduated college to be like an engineer, and he were to meet an attractive woman and she were to be on OnlyFans, what would you say to that guy? If you were to say, Nick, what do I do? I'm not sure. What would you say to him?
I love that question because like I've contemplated it just kind of as a hypothetical for so long. I guess for starters, I would hate to be a young guy today in the dating scene, right? Because when I was there, it's like, okay, cool. Like, you know, like everyone's in college, everyone's broke. Like it's fine, right? Even footing. I can't even imagine like, you know, trying to date a girl who's like, oh yeah, I make $500,000 a month. Like in college, like college age, I'd probably be like just super intimidated. Like what? You know? And so like to touch on your question now, and this is going to sound kind of like hypocritical, but like, I don't think I could certainly not marry like just, you know, the normal stereotypical OnlyFans girl that you might, you know, read about, right? I think the line where I draw it is like if you've had sex on camera with multiple different people, that would be probably a no-go for like a long-term relationship for me. Where it's like if she had a boyfriend for a few years and then they did it, it's a little less because it's like, yeah, I mean, like most girls have boyfriends and they have sex, right? Like it's kind of like that, right? And certainly nothing like crazy, like group sex or whatever. That's kind of where I would draw the line. The advice I would give to him is just, it's going to be very tough. Like set the boundaries early. And ideally you find the girl when she's not particularly big on OnlyFans. Cause like it is, I can imagine, I mean, I've lived some of it, but I can imagine it would be really, really, really hard to kind of rein a person in who is like living kind of at that level. I experienced it in my own life because she was dirt poor and broke when I met her, and then I moved her in. And like even now, there are moments where it's like she would not have talked to me like that, like, you know, 9 years ago, right? Like it's not that I was a mean guy. It was just that like there's a lot of like little things. Like she now walks away from every argument. Back then, she wanted to finish every argument and resolve it. right? Because she was living in my house and she was afraid of being kicked out, even though I never threatened that. And so you see a lot of things where it's like, wait, this is not good enough for you anymore. It used to be fine, right? And that's kind of the biggest challenge. And if she's already making a lot of money and you weren't part of that journey in any way, and you don't have something like kind of crazy going on, like you're like a sports star on the football team or something like that, it is going to be really hard. Obviously, try it, but like you're going to have to be very secure, and you're going to have to be somewhat unbothered, even with the caveat of set strong boundaries early, and kind of set the expectation.
So do you regret making her such a big star now? Or maybe the money was worth it? I don't.
It's hard to say that. I've looked at it both ways. Like, I'm generally a person who kind of moves forward in life and I don't look back.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't think I would change, like making her a star. I'll share a little bit of drama though. Like me doing a little bit of streaming on my own has really angered her. In fact, when I went to go close the door, it was because she was trying to gain entry. Because she did not want this conversation happening, which is crazy because I told her I'm not gonna say anything, right? Like I'm not gonna say anything that's not true. But she's always afraid of that, and it's funny because it's like I'm not even as big as she was in her peak by any means, right? But like in her peak, like it's funny because she wielded that power every day, right? She could go on stream and cancel me to 10,000 people, which she did at one point with things that were not true. And now I have a tiny fraction of that power, and like it's a problem. And she wanted to sit in like right here. Yeah.
So she canceled you the first time. Was it like a year ago? I think I missed that call.
22 October.
Okay. And what did she say on the call? I think I heard about it. Like they kind of framed you. What I remember, it was like they framed you as like making her do it or something. Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because she implied it, right?
Okay.
That was so crazy for me because like in that entire scenario, right? Like the only thing I was guilty of is yelling at her.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, right? Like in fact, the news media focused in on this thing, but it was actually pretty crazy. It was like she says he threatened to kill my dog, right? I've never threatened to kill a dog, ever. Like the closest she cites this as being threatening. We used to have these, I don't know if you've seen them. There's these like vertical things that you put, or like diagonal things you put against your door to prevent a thief from being able to gain entry. Mm. Have you seen those? Like it's a door stop thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had one of those. Yeah, we had one of those. And like what happened was she was threatening to run away from home. And so I grabbed the door stop thing, opened the door and said, go right ahead. And then she's like, oh my God, are you going to hit me or hit the dog? I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I was holding it up, like, because I moved it. Mm. And that's the closest she can say to like, oh, he is going to hit my dog. I didn't touch the dog. It was just merely I was standing there holding it. And she was like, I don't know, 40 feet away, right? Like with the dog. And so that's like the closest it got. I believe that night on the phone, she misheard what I was saying. And then like it kind of spiraled out of control. And then like the additional charges tacked on were like, obviously financially controlling her, making her do sexy stuff and all that, which is like basically trafficking. Mm-hmm. Like it was kind of nuts to me because I was like, we have entire employees whose job it is to actually ask you what you want to do. And like, if I'm trafficking, it's going to look like, even though I had no oversight into her OnlyFans at that point, it's going to look like that I told these people to do it. And so you're going to have this problem. And we did, because a lot of people resigned, because they're like, okay, well, we really can't be implicated here because they were the ones who actually asked her what she wanted to do. And she was saying that I forced her to do it. And then so it's like that thing where it's like they're kind of in the middle. Mm-hmm. And so those people all left.
Are you worried about potentially like being charged with something in the future? Like you see like because I think like Andrew Tate, right? He's getting charges from girls, like cam girls he managed like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Does that worry you at all or no?
I don't think so, just because like, although I once did own an agency, I never really did any of the direct work. Mm-hmm. I was just mostly just strategic and advising. Mm-hmm. And in her case, I mean, anything could happen, because she's obviously made stuff up before, but like, I don't know, we have a post-nump, and there's like stipulations in it that we have to be amicable to an extent. And so I don't think there will be any additional things. That's what I hope. right? But like, there's no evidence of me having done anything though, is the thing, other than her saying it on that stream.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of a spiteful woman.
Don't scare.
Sadly,
don't scare him. Don't scare him. I'm just kidding, Doug. Okay, so how did this fight start? I mean, I'm sorry, I was not going to watch 12 hours of streaming. I just wasn't going to do it.
So like, it's really messy right now because I've kind of moved all my stuff up here now.
Are you in the same? You're in the same house as her now, still?
With an asterisk, there's 2 properties on this complex.
Okay.
And like this one that I'm in is like this house used to belong to a car collector, and so downstairs is like a multiple bay garage with a bunch of cars. Her studio's downstairs in this building too, and then obviously this used to be like an in-law suite or house, guest house.
Okay.
And so I turned it into a cigar lounge, plus just kept the bedroom the way it was basically. And currently I've moved all my stuff from the closets in the house to here. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm just kind of like, so it's super messy, but I was here smoking a cigar because there's filtration and all that. And I just lit the cigar. It's like 2:50 a.m. or something like that, right? I'm lighting the cigar, and then she comes up, and then I should have picked up on it, but she was in a clearly not a happy mood because she was like, hey, can you help me with the dogs? And I was like, oh. And I was like, no, fine. Like I was just kind of like, like groaning and feigned whatever, right? And so then I'm walking with my cigar, and I'm walking downstairs, and she basically says, hey, you can't have that out there. And I was like, why? And she's like, Ryder, one of the dogs, might jump up, grab it from you, and eat it. And I was like, he's never done that before. And she goes, there's like a 10% chance. And I was like, okay. I put it down. We walk outside. We're outside. We're doing the dog stuff, right? I'm helping when needed, but mainly she just has me there to hold the camera so that, her contract is like fulfilled and all that. And then I entertain chat with like jokes and stuff like that, right? And then obviously, like, if she needs a hand with the dogs, or if one's like, I guess getting into a tussle with another one, I help separate and all that too. She separates. It's just kind of like an extra hand. And so I'm there doing it. But like on this particular day, which is like technically Sunday already, but late, the first dog we let out was like the German Shepherd, one of the guard dogs. And she was very hyper, and this dog is like a 6-figure dog, and so it should be immaculately trained, and it was kind of like not responding to commands. It was like super hyper, right? Very friendly still, like to us, but like just running all over the place, jumping over stuff. And like that's a concerning thing because like this dog is friendly to us, but like in the event that like someone else is here, like a construction person or a contractor, like we don't want anything happening. And so it being so high energy and able to jump over like the lower gates was a problem. And I was like, what the heck's going on? And then the next 2 dogs also hyper energetic and like I think almost getting into a fight at one point. And so I'm like, it's like a lot more work than the typical dog thing. And then I just kind of errantly mentioned, we have a full-time person who does animal stuff. Like, why are they so high energy? Like, did he come today? Did they get taken out? And she was like, no, he came today. And I was like, okay, well, do we need a second person? Because like these dogs are super hyper. It's like they haven't been walked or whatever or something like that. And then she suggested, no, let's just ask the first guy, the guy we've already hired, to come at the 3 a.m. shift. I don't know why there needs to be a 3 a.m. shift. That's kind of crazy to me. The guy comes twice already a day, right? Like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and then like in the late afternoon. And then she wanted a 3 a.m. shift for them. And then, obviously she's kind of an animal hoarder, but like, because we have a full-time animal person and a lot of resources, they're all living quality lives, but like, we don't even see them that much. There's like 40 animals, 7 dogs. And I've allowed it, which I probably shouldn't have, because like, I want her to be happy. And like, it's like, if I can throw money at the problem, like, sure, why not? Right.
Yeah, like you could be, so, your first mistake is thinking women can be happy. That's a mistake. Keep going. No, sorry, keep going.
Yeah. And so at this point, like, so I say, like, we got to hire another person because if you get Chris to come at 3 a.m., 9 a.m., and like 3 or 4 p.m., he's going to burn out. And that's not just speculation. Our previous pet person who was really good, literally that exact thing, she added the third shift per day. And we're talking 7 days a week. Like, and then the person just like fucking like basically broke. And we paid good money, right? Because that's why they voluntarily took that many shifts because they really wanted to like, up their income. And like, but like coming 3 times a day, 7 days a week, like literally that person we had to let go because they literally lost one of the animals. And when I talked to them about it. I was like, hey, we have to find it, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. They were like, kind of like, I really don't want to. And so it's kind of like, okay, they're done basically, right? Like they're just like mentally, like they can't keep doing it. They don't even register that they lost one. And so I didn't want that to happen to this current guy who's actually pretty good. And so I said, we need to hire an additional person if we need a 3 a.m. shift. But also, I don't think we need that. I think we can shift it to where, like, I feel like most people don't have 3 a.m. shifts for their dogs, right? And we have 7 of them. So 3 a.m. shift is like an hour to 90 minutes, right? Like it's like now it's like 4:30 a.m., you know? And so like, she's like, you're just complaining now. And I was like, okay, you know, like, you know, I wouldn't be if, like, you know, I could have my cigar out here, you know, like I at least have something to do and then, like, you know, de-stress. And that was the fucking powder keg. Like, I still don't understand it. I'm still trying to get her to tell me, like, can you explain, like, what exactly? Like, I was complaining, and then I mentioned a cigar. And the closest I can approximate is this. She actually says this, right? She goes, because you're, you know, putting the dogs at risk of death. And I was like, really? Like, how? She goes, tobacco is very toxic. I go, it was like 1 small cigar, right? I was like, how much tobacco is toxic to dogs? I looked it up, right? A certain amount of milligram of nicotine is kind of the issue. It would take, I believe, 16 cigars, him eating them at once, right? For him to
nobody's gonna think you could have killed the dog from a cigar. Just so you know, right? We're sane over here.
Yeah, and plus I'm holding it in my hand, smoking.
You don't have to. You can. It's fine. Like,
yeah.
Okay. And so is that what started the fight? Was she was nagging about, like, the cigar?
It's crazy because I didn't even take a cigar out. I just said I wish I could have a cigar. And then it was just like, oh my God, you want to kill the dogs?
And that started it.
And I was just like, no, like you hate them, don't you? I was like, here's the crazy part, right? Mm-hmm. I don't hate the dogs. If she let me and we got a divorce, I would take some of the dogs, you know, one in particular, right? And then in the past, and this is the craziest part to me, okay? I spent 9 months taking care of her dog that had cancer and then, you know, cooking a steak for it every day, 9 months straight until it passed away, right? And because it was such a heavy dog, she couldn't lift it. And so I took it to the vet and lifted it up into the Jeep. And this is like, you know, before it got cancer, it was like a 150-pound dog, right? It became like a 110, 90-pound dog. But like, you know, and doing all that for it. And so it's like, I've literally, like, you know, sweat and bled for the animals on her behalf. And so to say that I hate the dogs because I suggested I would smoke a cigar is kind of like, and so that's why I was just kind of like, and basically the rest of the fight was just me trying to say, I want you to tell me why you were so angry. And she goes, isn't it obvious you're retarded? Like, again and again. And so, like, that's the closest I can approximate. Mm-hmm. Hopefully at some point she'll give me an answer, or if she was, like, mad about, you know, something else or something like that. Yeah.
That's usually what it is. When someone picks a fight, they have, because that back and forth, some people like to start that back and forth to be able to, because a lot of women, they want to start a fight, then tell you what's on their mind while you're already reacting, and then shame you for acting in a negative way. So don't ever get that twisted. Whenever a woman picks a fight like that, usually she's going to say something that's on her mind, but then it absolves her from accountability for anything that happens in the fight.
The smart one. Sorry, I'm getting the water. Thank you.
So how did that snowball?
Yeah.
So it started with
so how did that lead to 24 hours total and the police?
So a lot of people, like, at least lately, when I started becoming a character on stream after the home. Oh, actually, can I touch on one point?
Yeah, sure.
Like, I don't know if y'all saw it, but like about, you know, early March, we had a home invasion.
Okay. Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
I did.
3 armed gunmen, right? And then, you know, I shot one, and then, like, she was being held hostage. I saved her. My biggest gripe through this whole thing was, like, I saved your life like a month ago. Like, are you seriously, like, gonna, like, and here's my gripe. The first time she did not call the cops. What happened was we were trying to grab I believe it's the camera, right? And she had it on a tripod, so it's not like I'm even grabbing her. I'm grabbing the camera, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm grabbing the camera. She grabs the camera too. And then, you know, briefly we pull at it, and then eventually I just give it back to her, right? Mm-hmm. It was like the stream turned off for like 10 seconds. And I gave it back to her, and then we're back there, and then, you know, and everything's fine. So, like, and then someone called in to the cops, basically. And so here's the thing I learned. Multiple people called it, right? Because I got 4 or 5 different things. Because when I was, so they came And it's surprising because we get swatted a lot, and so now it's generally just pretty chill. And then they come out and they make sure everyone's okay, and they check IDs, and they're good, right? This time it was a heavy knock on the door. It's like the traditional SWAT, which I've also experienced. And then I was like, "Who is that?" And I go to the door, and through the frosted glass, I can see, it's the black uniforms. I already know what's happening. I was like, "Okay." Open the door, and I'm just like that. I'm just preempting it, right? And then 2 Glocks in my face. I was just like, okay, like just turn around. They handcuff me, which is really rare because it's like the 4th time I've been handcuffed, even though I've been swatted like 20 plus times. And then they went real tight, and then they also used a military zip tie, and then they carted me away and threw me in the back of a squad car, which I did not know were made out of plastic because I've never been in a squad car. And then I'm in here, and then it's a lady cop, luckily, because she was more chatty, and I was like, why am I in here? Like, what do they call in? I just had a curiosity. And then she called, and asked, and then she said, it's a few different calls, actually. I was like, oh, okay. I go, okay, well, what was the worst one? And they're like, one viewer called in and said, on camera, you beat her unconscious, and that, you might do worse. And then that's why the guns a blazing thing, right? And then there's some benign as like, we need a wellness check, right? Which is fine, but like all these people called within like 10 seconds of the stream being offline, which is kind of crazy. And so that was kind of the deal. And we're very friendly with the PD locally, but like I feel like when they call Houston just without really specifying, like it's like police from like all these different boroughs coming in, which is I believe the case. And so then the cops came, they checked it out. She didn't lie or anything. She told the truth and said no, like there was no physical thing whatsoever. Right. Also, there's a live stream, so it's like you can basically prove it. And with security cameras, so
and that was at the end of the 12 hours of fighting, or like 24. Okay.
Yeah, but then the part that incensed me was after I got swatted, I came back, right? And then like we're both.
Oh, so the cops come. I thought she called the cops on you. No, so she was. Oh my. Okay.
Yeah, it's a.
This is a long day for you.
Yeah, no, it was very.
It was a long day.
And so like then we sit down, we start arguing, and like I was like pretty shooken because like it's been a while since I've had a gun pointed in my face.
Yeah.
Well, other than the break-in, but like I think those guys barely got it to like they're turning around to shoot me, and so it wasn't literally like And so I remember saying like that was crazy, and then I was like, I looked at her, I was like, you should probably condemn whoever in chat did that. And this is where like I kind of like really got mad because she was like, why? And I was like, why should we condemn the person who just did the swatting? And she was like, yeah, why? And I was like, I don't know, because it puts us at mortal risk. You're not even riskless. Like, if I was at the doorway standing in front of you, like they could shoot a bullet through me, right? Like it's dangerous for everyone. Also your dogs. I made that point in the thing. I was like, your dogs, she's normally nervous when we get swatted because, oh no, don't shoot my dogs. And she runs to, secure the dogs, right? No reaction this time, right? Like my cigar is fucking deadly, but the fucking cops running around is like fine, apparently. Like it's just selective. And so then, basically she wouldn't condemn it. In fact, she actually said this on stream. She was like, between you, me, right, and the guy who called in the beat her unconscious thing, I'm the one who's at fault for the swatting, not the swatter. I was just like, like my brain was like exploding because I think about it and it's like, I don't even have to know a person. Like I could just read about another streamer getting swatted and I'd feel bad and say, obviously it shouldn't happen. Like it's deplorable. She couldn't say that for someone on this journey alongside her. That was like inconceivable to me. Right. And then, we argued for a bit longer and then she got upset and then she called the cops. That call, she had muted the mic. And so that call she kind of made pretty serious because nothing new had happened at that point between the first cop showing up and then the second time where she called. And so she decided that she was going to list all the things that happened earlier in the day, such as like the stuff that should have already been covered because the cops came. And so obviously they asked her questions and then they didn't find anything wrong. So they left. I feel like if she's going to call the cops again, it had to be something after the first call, before the second call. But she just started talking about yesterday and earlier, just to try to make it a laundry list of things. Luckily, she didn't really lie. They just like, oh, I feel threatened, which she does not, like literally I saved her life. And like she came to me in that moment for me to save her. And so then, they didn't come then. And then she got upset and called them a third time, or I guess the second time, which is the third time that they would have come. And then this time I was like, hey, it's kind of weird that for everything in this thing, because she's the one who streamed this fight. Okay. Like I kept asking her, because usually when we fight, she mutes it and she goes off camera, right? Like a sane person would, right? This one, for whatever reason, she never wanted to mute it and she wanted to stream the fight. And so like that obviously also contributes to me being swatted, because her fans, might want to get rid of me. So basically she calls them a third time. And this time I say, no, I want the stream on this one. And so we put it on with audio, and then she says the most true version of any of the calls she's ever done. And it's just like, literally the cop told her straight up, ma'am, we cannot get involved because there is no issue. Y'all are arguing, right? It's on stream, so there's evidence. He's never hit you, She's yelling more than I am. It's like, she's like, this cop was just like, ma'am, like, this is not what you call this.
I know. I was
right?
the clips,
like exoneration.
The clips,
she tried.
Yeah, the clips that I was watching, she's like screaming, and then you talk back, and she's like, "Oh my god!" I was like, poor guy.
I learned that like if I yell, I'm an abuser. If she yells, I'm also an abuser.
So okay, so then she called the cops, and they basically said it's nothing, and
yeah, so they would not come out.
Okay, when did the stream end? Like, what was the?
So ironically, she kind of storms off at one point. And then I actually sit there and stream an extra 8 hours telling my side of the story.
No way.
Well, at least you got your side of the story out there, because not a lot of guys have that chance once allegations are made.
Yeah, absolutely.
And odds are, I'm pretty sure in those 8 hours, you gave every single little detail, because the worst thing, women are really good at getting their side of the story out there. And then, because men aren't on social media as much, so you're on defense. People have heard her version of the story, and you're constantly backpedaling and ducking and dodging. So good job with that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll never convince them that the 2022 incident, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's at that old quote, like the lie gets around the world 7 times before the truth gets out of bed. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, luckily, right after I had the chance to talk about it, because like it feels like a week, a month, like that degrades the value of it so much.
Yeah. So, like, where are you guys at now?
Yeah. What's the current state?
I think this call might have pissed her off to the point where maybe, we probably could have been already heading to divorce. Maybe this also does it.
Well, what do you want? Like, who cares what she wants? What do you want?
Honestly, I'm willing to apologize for yelling, because like, fine. But like, if I got an apology for her saying that she didn't say exactly it was okay. She just said like, between the guy who swatted you and you, it's you who deserves the blame for the swatting. Mm-hmm. And like, I would like an apology for that.
So you want to work it out, and then like, you just want an apology, and then
I'm fully okay with both at this point. Like at this point, it's so crazy. Like the kind of tipping off point for me was like, I just risked my life to save her life, like a month ago. Mm-hmm. Like what in like, and I've never hit her, and so it's like, what in the world happened that like you're this mad about me suggesting I smoke a cigar? Mm. I have a cigar lounge, and then you interrupted me trying to smoke one for I don't want to cuss, for heck's sake. So like, it just blows my mind. Like, I feel like it's like the most natural thing ever, because I was already smoking a cigar. Mm-hmm. I don't know, like, she has her good moments for sure. And like, here's the sad part, right? I am almost 100% certain that if we quit this online career, that it would be fine. It's the need to get a story out, to talk to all of her fans and make sure they don't think a certain way of her. She won't ever admit it, but like, it affects a person. This fight would not have happened if she wasn't like intent on streaming it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because it's just not enough to set anything off. Right? I still to this, I can't figure out why this was such a crazy thing. Like, I continued the conversation mainly just to find out, because I was like, did something crazy happen that you're not letting me in on, and I did wrong, and that whatever. But like, yeah, so I'm okay with either. Like, this is probably, I've been here before, but I feel like the difference here is we're both here at the same time, where I think we're both ready to be done, but also at least somewhat open to working it out. And so I don't know what's going to happen, honestly, but I'm sure this interview did not help.
So over here, I'm sorry, go ahead, Fred.
What happened with the producer? So did she You said
sorry.
you said
I should correct that. I did not see that.
She's hooking up Daquan.
So, I don't know. Do you know who spread that version first? Because
I don't know. I just saw a clip on X.
Yeah.
You can.
Oh, because like they're saying it's the guy from Fresh and Fit, and it's absolutely not. Like that's not what I was inferring. It was just another yeah. I mean, like I don't even know that guy. Obviously, she met that guy because she took a photo, but like it wasn't that guy that I was even referencing.
Oh, it wasn't him.
Yeah, it was a guy who's not really a social media person. So it's like
someone like one of the crew. You don't have to say his name. Was it like someone, a guest on the crew or something? Like was it just?
Oh no, it's nothing like that. It's like it's nothing to do with Fresh and Fit. That was like a weird. And I apologize if like I wasted your time because this is like the red pill time that y'all care about. But it's like no one on Fresh and Fit has been with her. Although Walter tried.
Well, yeah. I think he tries with a lot of people. But no, I guess my question is, so did she cheat or did she not cheat? Like what happened? You can be honest. It's all right. Like,
She will murder me in my sleep if I don't tell her version of it. But basically, so she used to do this thing.
She did, huh? You're hesitating too much. She did something.
Do Tinder streams. Well, so look, I drove up. And like all the information is like terrible, right? Like I drove up, it's 2 a.m. She's not answering her phone, right? Now she's not at his house, but like she's in a parking lot in a dangerous part of town. And her Jeep is there with its doors wide open. And I drive up and from a distance, I can see she's standing, he's standing, they're embracing. Okay. She maintains that nothing happened. He just hugged her and then he tried to kiss her, but she pushed away. That's her version. But when I drove up, they were very closely embraced. Okay. And I thought I saw, which I might have saw, but I'm just going to say I thought I saw that her hand was down his trousers. She maintains that her arms were out of her jacket sleeves and just hanging at that level.
Don't let her gaslight you, King. Don't let her gaslight you, King.
It would look like hands, kind of going in, right? Like
don't let her gaslight you. I've heard this before.
But when I showed up, right, she jumped back from him, and like he's a way bigger guy than me. Okay, like the dude is like 6'1", 6'2", and like super jacked. And so I show up, and it's weird because I do conceal carry, but I had no intention of using my gun whatsoever.
She calling? She calling?
Yeah, and she basically doesn't say anything and correct the story, and so this guy thinks that she's divorced and I'm stalking her. We're very much married, right? And so then he threatens to fucking pulverize me, and I was, if he started hitting me, I don't know if I'd pull my gun out because I just don't think that's a warrantable situation. I guess probably is, but like, and then he threatened to call the cops. I go ahead and call the cops. Right. Like, and then he was like, I might take care of this on my own. Right. And then we just kind of squared off for a bit. And then he eventually left. Like he didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Right. And then, we got her home, and then that's when she told me her version of it. It's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't see her doing it for sure, but you're pretty sure you saw it.
I was driving up from a fair bit of distance, and so it's like, but like, I mean, she's embracing the guy. She's not pushing him away at that point. She says that she pushed him away when he tried to kiss her. They weren't kissing, so it's like, but then you have to go like this, right? Like, okay, so you're saying.
But what are you doing in the parking lot at 2 a.m. with another dude? Like, what are you doing?
Also, you push him away, we try to kiss you, so now you know his intentions, right? And then y'all hug again. Like that's kind of weird,
Yeah, don't let her gaslight you. I've heard this before. Okay, so they're saying in the chat that Chris said there's nothing with Chris though. They're saying in the chat that he did it. I don't know. I
think they're jumping onto a good story is what's going on.
I'll take your word. I don't know. I'm just looking at the chat. Okay.
So ahead. From what I've seen, the social dynamic and the social contract of you guys' marriage has completely changed over 10 years, man.
Oh yeah.
Right. Now over here we say that men would ideally men would want their wife to stay the same as when they got married, like the day that they got married for the rest of their lives. But you're in a completely different universe, man. So what are you gonna do with? Are you gonna be able to stay in this new dynamic? Like, have you thought about how you're gonna navigate this new? Because you said that she walks away from you now. Like, she used to want to resolve the argument. She walks away from you. She's hugged up with Tyrone Maximus at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, this is a question. I mean, how are you gonna handle this new dynamic? And is this something that you're willing to put up with?
It's kind of like, well, I mean, obviously I can do something, but we have a post num, so like the asset part of it is like, you know, knock on wood, it's fine. But like, ball's kind of in her court because it's like, I need her to walk back to the swatting thing. Like, it'd have to be at least starting from there. Yeah, like the dynamic has changed, like you said. Like, basically, when I met her, and like people will say this is like power dynamic, blah, blah, blah. But like, it's like I had all the cards, right? I had a good job. She was living in my house, you know, using my stuff, blah, 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 right? And back then she was different, and everyone would be, right? Because now, whether she's actually accurate or not, she doesn't think she needs me financially whatsoever, right? Like, and maybe that's right, but I do a lot of back end stuff too, you know, like taxes and all that. And sure, you could hire a tax person, but like I don't know. I feel like I do a pretty bang up job. I don't want to say what it is, but it's like a lot of accelerated depreciation stuff on real estate. Like, I feel like I've added on my own 20 million to the net worth just from tax savings via legal strategies. But, you know, she doesn't think she needs me financially, right? And right at this moment, I don't think she thinks she wants or needs me personally. The main thing for me is this, right? The glue for me is this, right? I've been with this person for 10 years. And no one I ever find is going to have an understanding of the journey that I went through during this period other than her. And it's vice versa too, but I don't know if she cares about that. And so like part of me is like, man, dude, I don't want to explain myself to another person. I don't know if I'd ever even settle down with another person if we split, right? Like, I always thought I was going to be a bachelor for life. But like, yeah, the dynamic has changed and it's kind of balls in her court. I hope that if we stopped doing this, you know, career, that like things would go back to some semblance of whatever, because we never fight when it's not about work or while one of us is working, right?
What would life after this career, this quote unquote career, look like? Do you have any idea what that would look like at all?
It's kind of funny because it's like her idyllic life, right? She wants to buy a huge swath of acreage out in the middle of nowhere, you know, probably Colorado, and then just build a house and then, put up a horse stable, right? And that's like within the realm of reach pretty easily. And so, yeah, I mean, like that's what it is. And I don't, you know, I'm more of a beach house person, but like, I'm a guy. And so like, I really don't care about my surroundings as long as I get to do what I want. Right. Like, like, you know, if I can shoot guns on my own land, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's her preference for the lifestyle that we live, right? And I was willing to, you know, still am maybe lean in my resources to kind of help make it happen, because that's the thing. You split this net worth in half, like she probably has enough to kind of run all the crazy stuff that happens here in terms of the costs, because there's a lot of house staff, right? 3 cleaners 3 times a week, and then pet people and like personal assistants who book trips, and there's a lot of like overhead costs, right? And so she could maintain it on her half, if you look at the residual income that half spins off. But I don't think she would be able to buy this ranch and then also the residual costs that it's going to cost. And so like it's kind of like the thing, but I don't know if like I want her staying for that reason, you know? So it's I'm at an impasse.
So has it been kind of awkward the last few days in the house?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you kind of Are you kind of scared for after the stream?
I think she's just gonna stonewall me, honestly.
Yeah.
It's funny because yeah, like when I started streaming and talking a little bit, like she hated that. Like she was mad about it all day today. Like in the morning, she was like neutral-ish.
It gives you more power. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. In the afternoon, she was just like very clearly mad. And I tried to be like a decent person. Yesterday, because both of us hadn't eaten 36 hours, I ordered her food too. And, you know, as a statement of not defiance, but just to make a statement, she chose not to eat it. It's like what she usually likes to eat. And then today she did ask me to go and get her something, and I did get it to her. But like, it didn't chill the icy demeanor whatsoever. She's, I don't know.
How often do you guys fight? Like, just normally?
There was a time, and ironically, it coincided with when she was making like obscene amounts of money, like 2 to 2.5 a month, where it would be like almost weekly, right? Because the stakes were so high. And then like, I get it. It's like, it is a lot of money. And so then like tempers go for the smallest thing, right? Because it used to be like, you know, maybe one wrong typo on a tweet could be like cost 50,000 of opportunity cost. And so it was a crazy time. And so we used to fight a lot, but now it's mellowed out so much that I'm so surprised that she's this angry, right? We fight, like, in my opinion, like if we're talking an actual fight, like not even necessarily this caliber, but like a fight where we're actually both like, this is a fight, right? Probably like every 2 months or so.
Is there like another guy maybe in that? Because sometimes women will like pick fights if they want to leave and they want to like, because women, we're so fueled by our reputation that if we want to leave and not look like the bad guy, we have to figure out a way to make you the bad guy.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is there like I mean, I don't know if you'll even say it if there is on street, but like, is there someone else? Is she still talking to Daquan or?
No, she hasn't talked to that guy since that night. And then like, I know there's not another guy because she streams so goddamn much. Like, I think she's averaging like 15 hours a day because of the way that her kick contract is structured. She's like getting $4,000 an hour. And so it's been uncapped, right? So she's been spamming the hours.
But you could still message someone on Instagram.
You could, but she doesn't even run her own Instagram.
Oh, so she doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, like she doesn't run her own socials like by choice, right? Because we have people who do that. She takes pictures, obviously, but then like they figure everything out. Sometimes she reads the proof and whatever. I can give you a little red meat ancillarily. I know exactly what you're talking about, though. Like we did a show once. I'll even name drop the person because I don't care. We did a show once, a big produced show that cost like $700,000 to throw, and a streamer fairly popular named Alinity was at this thing, and she kind of regaled everyone with stories in the back of the bus when we were going to this event, and like, it's so crazy because she said this to a bus full of other influencers. Like, it was like the most natural thing. She was like, I really like the lifeguard at the event place, but I have a long-term boyfriend who runs my OnlyFans. Right. And then everyone's like, yeah, you know, it's tough. Right. And then
imagine if imagine if you said that. I like the the hot girl at the event.
You know,
I have a streamer. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. She straight up says, like, almost like a villain monologuing to an entire group of people who are probably going to gossip. Like, she literally says, you know what? I bet I could call him right now, get into a fight with him, and then we're broken up. I'm going to sleep with this guy tonight, and then tomorrow wake up. She said that.
In front of you?
Like,
in front of you?
Like, in front of, like, 10 other influencers and a bunch of staff.
Oh, my God, you're cooked.
Oh, my God.
So
like,
I hope
you really do that. It's another thing to be like, it's okay to talk about.
I really hope you're not cooked. You seem like a very nice guy. I do predict for a living. It's not looking good. This is not. But
so I have a question. So I have a list of things that are just one and dones. If a woman calls the cops on me, I'm done. I'm done. Like, you know, if a woman, it's just, so have in your head, have any lines been crossed where you're tolerating stuff that you never thought that you tolerate? I mean, like, have any of your one and dones lines been crossed, and you're trying to wonder if you want to keep? You understand what I'm trying to ask you?
But I'm moving the goalpost. 2 of them, right? Easily 2 of them. The cancellation stream in 22 was one, right? And then the second one was the swatting thing. Like the this one, but you know, also like we got pretty close a few other times too. And so obviously these are like really, really bad, but like there is a little bit of solace, which maybe I shouldn't have, but it's like, you know, when she did the dispatch call, she didn't lie. And so she called the cops twice. They didn't come for her. It was the viewer that called the crazy thing that got them to come. So it's kind of a gray area, you know?
Wow.
So they're really telling me you're lying about this.
About
They're
what?
really
Her calling the cops?
No,
Also,
that
she's texting me to say that, and this is true, it's Alinity and not her on the bus story.
huh?
Yeah.
Who's Alinity?
Oh, it's a big female streamer on Twitch. One of the OGs, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying that you like are fake the fighting.
Absolutely not. Like the swatting was so surprising because after the robbery, we hire cops to be security, and like the guy who was on duty, they're humans, and so they have to go and grab lunch, and so they take a lunch break, and so it was during this lunch break that like our cop wasn't out there, because that would have been very helpful. You know what I'm saying? Like our cop talking to the cops that are coming would be like, no, there's nothing that crazy happening here, you know. But he was out, and hence why the knock on the door was actually like cops had no idea of anything. Right? Absolutely not. They're always going to say it's fighting. They said the robbery was fighting, and I shot a dude, and 4 guys are facing 2 counts of 5 to 99 years, right? And they're in prison right now, right? I'm talking to the DA all the time. Like, so like they'll always say that because they think for whatever reason that she is a liar. But like, I don't know, like the 22 situation, like obviously there was a lot of overstating, right? But like her feeling was real. Like she was upset, and she did, you know, I claim misconstrue what I'm, you know, saying. And so like every fight has been real. There's never been a staged fight. But as is the nature of social media, like, you know, it kind of benefits from entropy. All movement is good movement, right? Like, it's like all publicity is good publicity. Old Hollywood.
Like, what would prevent her from doing this again? Like, what would be if you guys do work it out? Like, wouldn't the same
because
you're showing that you would accept it, right? If you like, so what would stop her from doing this to you in like 6 months?
And also the certain things. So if you're in a married situation, once you say the word divorce, you can never put it back in the bottle. Or you know, you don't have any kids. For example, if you're a man and you're with your wife and she says, "Well, you have kids. Well, the kids ain't yours." You can never put that back in the bottle. And I think a couple of things that you can't have happen where you can't put it back in the bottle. Understand what I'm saying?
You're saying, what do we have in that? I mean, yeah, the saying of divorce, because we both said it, probably me a little more so. Okay, definitely more so. There's that. I mean, it's tough, right? Because I would love for it to be like this hard policy of like, if we're having any kind of discord, that like it does not be made into content. I actually don't want the drama out there, right? People saying it's fake. I would rather take it all back. We were making we were making 2 to 2.5 before the first drama ever hit, before that first 2022 call. No one is doing it for that. Like, I mean, I'm sure y'all understand this. It's like, if you're making 2 to 2.5 million a month, you're not going to rock the gravy train to get more famous. You're going to milk it as long as you can. That was our plan. And we milked it for up to already a year and a half at that point, right? Every month, 2 million plus. And so we were not trying to change any formulas. That's like the best proof that there was nothing. And I honestly, other than we signing a ginormous kick deal, we actually lost money other than that very first month. That first month was weird. People like joining an abused person's OnlyFans, or they're perceived being abused person's OnlyFans. And it was like the highest month ever. But then every other month after that was lower than 2, but not by that much, but still like, we lost money for that. I know everyone thinks we made money. It did not happen. And this drama will probably make us lose some amount of money as well.
Well, yeah, it's like it's short term versus long term, right? Because if you have enough of this like stuff, people kind of tune out. You know, like if you guys did like another one, like no one, you know, it's like at some point.
I think we're already past that point, honestly.
Yeah. Well, not completely. I have a lot of people watching right now.
You though.
Okay, I want to do the super chats real quick. If they roast you, I'm sorry, but I tell them I read them always. So they roast me sometimes too.
I'm okay with being roasted.
Okay. I have this playing in the background, but don't care much. Looks like Amaranth sent in the simp squad, which is entertaining. Vincent said, years ago when the outcomes for marriage were the opposite, it was if we use your view of the world, why would we take such a shit deal and reverse it to why wouldn't men take such a good deal? How did society change prescripts? Women who also want to change society, they also need them. Biblical patriarchy is greater than red pill. Allowing your spouse to do OF means there's a level of acceptance. Where's the cutoff to the behavior? What percentage of marriages survive shades of infidelity, and what percent of marriages end due to infidelities? $5 shamelessly foisted upon the Pearl for none other than the fact that I want more pearly things in my life. Damn, I guess that makes me a simp. It really does. Yeah. If 5 men try soggy soyo just one time, it makes it a degenerate. This woman is not pretty enough to be this exhausting. Thanks for debating 07, LOL. Advocating men to check out will lead to more men unaliving yourself. Are you reasonable? Follow your own logic. And no fault divorce and marry. There is a separation of church and state, but not for marriage. Next time, ask him what gender roles between men and women have been broken down. If so, with propaganda, women could control to fix divorce. Glenn, let me call in. I think that's all. Some of them were for the last guest, not you. So if they didn't make sense, that's why. Okay, well, I'm glad you got your side of the story out. I hope you guys figure it out. Doug MPA, do you have any other questions for him? I think I really went through everything I had.
You built one of the biggest people in your space. I'd say the biggest. Pro always says that there's a man behind every successful woman on these platforms.
I do.
And maybe you're struggling with that. What's that cost fallacy where you sunk a lot of cost into a situation in a person? But, I don't know what's going to happen. But in general, if things end, men are generally more successful at the divorce and women are not. So,
plus all the girls will be at him. They'll be like, make me famous. He'll have like a line of like 22-year-old OF girls.
and you're probably struggling with what doing the right thing or what you have to do. Man, you don't have to do nothing, man. Figure out what you want to do. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to put up with disrespect. You don't have to put up with someone talking back. And most of the time, you're going to think that someone is, it's the cost fallacy. You'd be surprised. You think that, having been married and divorced myself, you think that person has something that nobody else has. Like, oh my God, they're so special. There's no one like them. Then on the other end, you find out and you realize that they're just like everybody else.
No, I mean, I do need to hear some. I've been so, stuck in this world and the grind that I haven't really stopped to think about it. I definitely hear what you're saying, though. Yeah, I appreciate the wisdom. Yeah,
and you know what? Hey, there's this red pill space. We need more voices, man. Come on over.
Stories for another time.
We got a seat for you. Have a seat, man.
The Tate stuff.
Yeah.
All the girls, I swear, he got divorced. All the girls would be chasing him down.
I already have so many people in my DMs asking me to manage their OnlyFans and telling me I'm hot. Like, literally.
I know.
I'm like, that's okay.
Why do you think they she hates you streaming? When men stream, they get bitches.
Yeah, well,
men act a little bit different when they have 20 other girls to like.
And also, look at your results, man. Look at your results. You not only you're confident, competent, capable, and you're streaming, and you have results to back up. I mean, come on, man. You just have to figure out what's best for you, because I always say when men win, everyone wins, and when women win, they win for themselves. And a lot of successful, ambitious men, the modern women pathologies, they want successful, intelligent, ambitious men to set their desires aside to help them win in their own selfish desires. Anything you do is going to benefit everyone around you, whereas most women, anything they do only benefits themselves. So, and I think maybe the dynamic changed and she started talking to you crazy when you started putting your desires aside and helping her achieve her selfish desires, because that's usually one of the first indications that you're putting your ambitions and success aside for the sake of hers. Does that make sense?
No, that does. I've always assumed that, generally speaking, men, even ones that make a lot of money, it's like, obviously, like, I mean, the wife still makes a lot of purchasing decisions, right? Like, the wife benefits. To echo what you're saying, like, yeah, when men win, like, the women also come along for the ride, but it doesn't always happen, not nearly as frequently in reverse, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, when women win, we just divorce, sadly enough. Yep. That's all I got, Doug. MPA, you got anything else?
Yeah. I'm just really glad that you get your story out there, and just
me too.
keep control of the narrative, man, until the dust settles. However, because over here we're not saying pull the trigger on breaking up or divorce or whatever. Only you can determine that. But the fact that you're helping control the narrative hasn't gotten away from you is big, man. That is big. So you keep telling your story, man. Keep telling it and keep saying your side of the story.
I appreciate the other perspective.
Great. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Do you have anything you want to plug? I mean,
I guess I'll plug my Twitter.
Sure.
It's one word, Nick Wick Lee. Wick like John Wick.
Oh, I thought what account did I follow?
I think you messaged me there. Or is the Instagram or
that? Okay. I didn't realize the title is Amorous Husband. Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in the chat so you can follow.
I appreciate that. But, this was great. I'm glad I got to talk and I made sure, everything I said was truthful. She was fact checking me some.
Yeah.
Probably a lot.
Amorous, shut up. Stop nagging him.
I know.
You called the cops on him. You should be on your knees right now, lady.
I know. And you freaking owe your career to this man right here. Come on.
I hope she does. I hope she's watching. If you think like your success was you are, please God. I know so many women that are flat broke that have had the same, like, that had your following or whatever. You would not be where you're at without the guy behind you. You would, like, there's no way. I don't know a single
100%.
Woman that's done it. None. Zero.
In fact,
zero. Zip. I'm an expert in this industry. Go ahead, Doug.
Pro did a reaction where Megyn Kelly and Anna Kasparian were talking about, oh yeah, men don't want to date women who work and this and that, whatever, or don't appreciate women's careers. I have it all. Where Megyn Kelly's first husband was a surgeon, and then her second husband was a CEO worth like $80 million. So while she was building her career, she was with these successful guys who were able to facilitate her going to law school, facilitate when she got into media, right? And then she divorced those two guys. Now she's with this guy, and she had her 3 kids through, I think she spent like $80,000 on IVF 3 different times, and now she says she has it all, but it was on the backs of the 2 previous men.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, go ahead, Doug.
But she's built her career off your back, dude.
Yeah, and he can do better, Men, if they can get you, they can always get someone hotter than you and 10 years younger. It just is what 100%. It is. It's the life of a woman. So, if you're not going to treat him right, someone else will, lady. Stop texting him. So, thanks. leave the poor guy alone. He's been through enough.
And enjoy those cigars, man. Enjoy your cigars. Come on.
Smoke 10.
I just want one last word, Doug. That story of Megyn Kelly, there's a slightly better one, which is you should look into Lauren Sanchez, the girl that's with the lady that's married to Jeff Bezos now. Like, that is the Olympics of not gold digging, but like climbing that ladder. NFL player Patrick Whitesell, which is like the biggest co-owner of the biggest agent in Hollywood, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. What do we call her, Pearl? The mythical mid. Remember, she's the mid that's won it all. She's the success story of just how far a mid can go.
We don't cover a lot of success stories here for women, but occasionally, most of the time when there's a breakup, the women do worse and the men do better. But occasionally there's a woman that beats the odds, and Sanchez really did. She really did.
Her case should be studied by freaking sociologists and anthropologists, bro. 'Cause I don't know how she did. Wow. Like you said, NFL player, Pete Whitesell, and then Jeff Bezos, man.
Yeah,
Patrick.
and you don't get any
Yeah,
purity. The other thing she's got to realize, if she's out on the market, you're not going to get, she might be like only one guy or whatever. No man's going to view her like that. You'd have to go, oh my gosh, you'd have to go the streamer route. Oh, and I know I'm a streamer. What?
The shitty part is she met Jeff Bezos because Patrick invited Jeff Bezos to a party.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bigger fish.
I'm just saying, Amaranth, I would start being nicer instead of nagging, because I'm telling you, you're the other side. If you guys break up, she's probably watching. The other side of this isn't going to be fun for you. It's really not. Women never appreciate all the things men do. You're probably not going to be as good at managing your own money. A lot of the guys interested in you are really going to be entertainers. That's a shit show of date. Good luck with that. Like, this is, so I would try to maybe, because I don't know why she's nagging you on stream. I mean, instead you should be trying to make up for it. But hey, lady.
Here's the thing: you guys have emotional investment, and you're the last vestige of her having any kind of normal relationship dynamic. Because after you, it's gonna be nothing but other people in the industry.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dating as a public figure, you don't. As a guy, it makes his life way better. As a woman, guys don't like that. I could say this. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe think of ways to make it up to him instead. I'd recommend that, but do as you will. Yeah, Doug MP, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it, man.
Well, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
You always have a platform here, so if anything pops off, you want to get your story out, hit us up.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, guys. Let me see if there's any more super chats. She made her. How much money is she worth? She's worth like 20 million. Doug?
I'll look it up.
Women, we never appreciate what we have, huh? We never really do. I'm like, do you know how many girls I know in that same position that are like flat broke? Like
25 million.
Yeah. I'm like, most. Yeah.
What a cool guy, man.
He's a cool guy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if they break up, he'll be fine. They'll be like 22-year-olds lining up. Her, on the other hand, who would she go for? She would have to go for a streamer, because like any semblance of guys that have normal jobs would not touch her.
And then from what he was saying, she hasn't been out here thoughting it up. But she has the image of being a thought.
Yeah.
So that's going to conflict, because she's going to be dating with that image. It's just a disaster. She needs to make up with this guy.
Let me show you your dating pool, Amaranth. I know she's watching. These are the types of guys that date OnlyFans models. I'm sorry, Neon. You seem like a nice guy. Oh shit! I didn't unplug this earlier. This is your future. Can they see it? Yeah. Yeah, this is your future. Now let me continue. Maybe you might get like, cause she's got like.
What about Destiny?
Yeah, Destiny would do it. Yeah, Destiny. Here you go.
Yep.
Like, this is what's on the other side.
Yep.
There are I'm not gonna lie to her. She's good looking enough. There's guys that are gonna accept you. I'm not one of those. But the types of guys, like any semblance of like normal corporate American.
It's just, I'm hoping that Nick knows that he doesn't have to put up with disrespect.
Here's another one that I think would do it,
Oh, yeah. Your friend.
If he ever gets divorced, yeah, he'll do it. Who else? Who else could her dating?
Bevo.
Who?
Bevo. Someone put Bevo. No, it's how do you spell his name?
This guy? Oh, Bevo here.
No. Bevo.
Are you sure?
That
It says BEVO.
it's BEAVO.
BEAVO. Oh, this
That guy.
Yeah, he'll do it. I mean, you might be able to look at Lauren Sanchez did win. There are women that do it and win. I'm not going to pretend. I don't know if I know. She would have to. Do you know the other group of men? You're going to have to go younger than you. Yeah, you're going to have to go trap a guy that doesn't know better. Like, that's what Michaela Peterson did. She went for a young guy. So yeah, your options in the future are probably going to be like 5 to 10 years younger than you. She might be able to get like a trainer with like no job.
She's 31 years old.
Yeah, but like the 25-year-old, I mean, lately they've been doing it. I'm just telling you trends I've seen. You can maybe trap them with a kid if you're lucky. I would just work this out, and I would maybe. She doesn't seem like the type who cooks, but maybe like Gluck Gluck or something. You got to make up for it.
Yeah,
lady.
or just stop talking. How about that? Just shut up. Say nothing for like 2 weeks. Say nothing.
She's
right.
Yeah, I know.
Nice and easy solution.
What else could she do to make up for it? I know nothing, but like, let's say hypothetically, because right now she's going the nagging route. And that does work until the guy gets too tired. So what would you suggest instead of the nagging?
Well, that's what Nick just sounded like. He just sounded like he just tired of the whole thing. Just sick and tired. You know, you can get tired, but when you get sick and tired of being tired, that's when it's over. And I think he's almost there.
Yeah, I don't think he's there yet, though. You might have a shot. Work it out, Amaranth. Work it out.
Yeah, but I would recommend she work it out because, once again, this is your Amaranth. If you're listening to this, your man right now, your husband is the last semblance of a regular relationship dynamic.
You are done.
You're going to end up in line with Brittany Renner. If you're not careful.
And it's unfortunate. You might have the body count of one. I doubt it. But hey, if he believes it, I guess for shits and giggles, we can say that. But you're gonna have to put some numbers out to really get another relationship. Yeah. There's
we'll
STDs
see.
on the market.
There's
a lot of problems out there you don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
I would work it out.
I'm hoping that Nick finds out, does what's best for him. And if anything else pops off, he calls into the show.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, Doug MPA. Any final thoughts for today at all?
Nope. This was a long one. You know, Andrew Wilson, he's great. You know, I'm glad that you two went back and forth, and it's all love. You know.
Oh yeah,
Andrew
I'm not actually mad. He just antagonizes sometimes, and I'm like, could we have a normal conversation? But
yeah.
But it's not a big deal. This is a job. We're debating, so it's not. Yeah, guys, don't think it's a job. Like, it's fine. He's a good guy.
All right.
Yeah, but okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.